the Dauntless. So what? We're married now? Holly asks as she watches Sergeant First Class Bjorn veers. No, I'm your bodyguard. If I start getting attached, then I'm going to be reassigned and someone new will be sent in. Bjorn answers as he places his rifles into a safe he just set up and then quickly locks it up. It won't stop the more exotic tricks or more powerful aliens, but it will slow them down, and in an emergency, even a half second can be life or death. So if I manage to seduce you and we hook up, they'll send a second hunk my way to work my magic on? She asks, and he scoffs. If you want a carousel of men being put on punishment duties due to fraternization with the VIP, then sure, why not? It'll only take once or twice before they wise up and send a female bodyguard anyways. Bjorn responds and she lets out a little moaning sound. Why do I even need a bodyguard? Have you seen what my body can do? I could fold you like paper. Holly protests and Bjorn chuckles. Love the attitude, but the ability to fight is more than just physical conditioning. That thing that was stuck in the back of your head didn't just make you a workout maniac. It also gave you a killer's edge and the will to hurt someone. You think you can do that? Hit someone so hard that you hear parts of them snap and feel it beneath your hands? Bjorn asks, and she flinches a little. Yeah, that's why you need a bodyguard. Because in the end, you're a hurt child that needs a chance to grow up in safety. Your mother and you have both asked for and are receiving our protection as undaunted citizens. Wait, Mom's getting a bodyguard too, but she's married. Bodyguard is not synonymous with boyfriend. It could be. Not if I want to avoid a court-martial, it isn't. Is there a way around it? If I request a transfer of duty due to growing overly attached, I will be withdrawn and a new bodyguard installed. At the point after I have transferred and the duty given over to someone else, we could start dating and not one moment before. Bjorn explains as he continues setting things up and tucks his clothing away into the dresser and a few small devices as emergency beacons. You're taking the fun out of this fantasy, Holly says with her tongue sticking out a bit. If you get a boyfriend, then you can act it out. But fantasies like that are out of pornos only, Bjorn remarks with a chuckle. So what do we do? Holly asks, and he raises an eyebrow. Don't pretend those kinds of things. What do we do now? My job is to follow you around and keep you safe. Do whatever you want, and if there's a problem, I'll say something. He answers, and she starts considering. So if I want to go to a dance club? A bit crowded, but all right. I'll be going in low profile, so the weapon and armor will be hidden, Bjorn says, and she blinks and considers. What's low-profile armor look like? It's a bodysuit underneath normal clothing, reinforced to resist stabbing, slashing, and other such things. It also locks in most of my pheromones and stops any of that silliness. Blocks heat too, so those that rely on thermal vision have a harder time seeing me, Bjorn remarks. Yay, but what's it look like? Holly asks, and he raises up his shirt a bit to show a skin-tight dark blue and black outfit that looks more like a shadow had been peeled off the ground and stuck onto him. Can I see more of it? Not with that salacious tone, Missy, Bjorn remarks with a grin. Oh, salacious. You like to use the big words, I see. Holly teases him. Right, anyways, what kind of dance club are we going to? Button-ups and dress pants or what? What's the dress code? Trendy, Holly replies. That tells me precisely nothing, Bjorn remarks. Lot of movement with the dancing, so you need to get around a lot. Legs can be completely covered, but you need to show something off, otherwise they'll think I dragged you out of a gravid convent or something. Wear something stable so you can move a lot and show some skin, she says, and Bjorn considers. All right, I think I saw a clothing store not too far away. Let me hit that up and I'll have something that'll blend in fairly well. Bjorn says, You promise? Miss, I'm your bodyguard, not your boyfriend. If I feel the need to go in with full armor and bearing an auto shotgun full of Dragon's Breath rounds, I'm going in with full armor and an auto shotgun loaded with Dragon's Breath rounds. Dragon's Breath rounds? It turns a kinetic weapon into an incendiary one. Using it on another person is considered a really evil thing to do, Bjorn says as he quickly glances through things. He has an idea. So give me an hour and I'll be ready to go without any compromise to your safety. Sound good? Sure. Great. Don't leave the apartment and don't let anyone else but me in. I'll be a call away. Keep your tracker and don't be afraid to call. You're just leaving? This location is as secure as I can make it short of drawing an obscene amount of attention to you. I'll be back shortly, and with everything I need to blend in and keep close no matter what. So long as you don't invite in half the neighborhood and you should be fine. Besides, my job is to protect you without going crazy about it. After all, you do have a life to live. Oh yay, that makes sense, Holly says, looking somewhat dejected. Hey, cheer up. Things are going to get better, all right? Bjorn offers her and she nods. Great, I'll be back in a little bit. With that, he leaves the apartment and locks it from the outside. It takes him a half hour to find everything, and although Holly begs him to let her see he doesn't show off his purchases and instead goes into his room to change. Woo! She cheers when he opens the door to reveal his outfit. Massive baggy green pants that have large patches that hang weird. They flow with his every move and completely conceal his boots. A trinity of belts holds up. Well, one holds it up, the other two are clearly decoration. On the upper body is what looks like a jet black turtleneck vest that allows his well-defined arms to be easily seen alongside a wrapping of white cloth around his left shoulder, and hiding his eyes is a pair of mirrored shades. Really? This rates a woo? I saw what the local trends were and thought they looked like the dumbest things imaginable, Bjorn remarks as he gives a spin to show off the whole thing. I mean, really? Super baggy pants and mega-sized shoes? Mirrored shades and vests? Not much for the dance scene, are you? Holly asks. I'm not even going to pretend I know what it's all about. You can't be all that clumsy. They wouldn't let a complete klutz onto the Dauntless. Never had a date. Bjorn remarks and then freezes as that was the wrong thing to say. Oh, then I have got to make this a good night out then. Hang on a minute. I know exactly what to wear, Holly exclaims and rushes into her own room. Bjorn sighs and takes out the communicator he has hidden on his person and activates it. Sergeant Veers, to control. Sergeant Veers, to control. Come in control. Control here. Go ahead. Miss Clatterhooves seems to be hell-bent on seducing me. To be clear, this is Holly Clatterhooves, your assigned VIP. It is. Her age and emotional maturity are showing with these decisions, and it may be wise to prep a transfer for me and line up a female bodyguard. This shows all signs of becoming a pattern. Bjorn reports. I see. No request for loose leash protocols? Control asks, and Bjorn lets out a huff. I won't lie and say I'm not tempted. The girl is gorgeous, the girl is eager, the girl would undoubtedly be easier to keep safe if I could lead her around by her libido. But she's effectively a 15-year-old. No, she isn't. She's a traumatized 30-year-old. She's older than you, Sergeant. She lost 15 years of memories. She's a teenager in an adult's body. Bjorn replies. Maybe, but let's be frank here, she's got the mileage to count as an adult by most metrics. Do not make this weird. I'm here to keep her safe. Thinking with my lower head will get in the way of that. I like a challenge, Holly calls out from her room, revealing that not only can she hear him, but is following the conversation. I'll prep loose leash protocols. Besides, we're trying to get humans looked at favorably, and despite what we can do, it's not going to be combat prowess that sees humans accepted on the galactic stage. They already have their fighting machines, they already have their geniuses and technicians and doctors. Do you know what they all want? Control asks and Bjorn sighs. Boyfriends. Bjorn sighs. Was this a matchmaking setup? No, but the rules surrounding getting involved with the locals are getting relaxed on a universal scale. We can't really stop it, and trying will just hurt our cause anyways. So long as you do your assigned duties, you can leave a trail of pregnant women 1,000 long. Although considering the local attitude towards impregnation and sex, they'll probably think they got a good deal out of it, Control says, and Bjorn sighs. Does that mean I can date him? Holly calls, and he glances in her direction with a frown. Yes, Control answers. Anything else, Sergeant Veers? No, he says and hangs up while taking a deep breath. Things just got a whole other layer of complicated. You would think that removing rules and letting him act more freely would make things simpler, but nope, not at all. So, you are allowed to date the VIP. It would be extremely unprofessional, Bjorn replies calmly. Well then, how about taking to an expert level? Do the job and the VIP? Holly asks and opens the door, and he does a double take. At first he thinks she's naked. He actually has to look twice to see her clothing. A set of strings hold up tiny patches of black and white fabric over each nipple that serves more to outline them, and a tiny triangle over top her sex that shows. You're going to need more than a micro bikini, Bjorn says, trying very hard not to react otherwise to the woman who is somehow more naked for wearing clothes than actual nudity would offer. Not really, Holly says, sauntering up to him. She reaches out and holds the side of his face and then smiles gently. If 15 years and waking up as someone new is the price for a shot at a prize like you, then it's a bargain. I'm no prize, ma'am. Now you want to hit the dance club, so let's hit the dance club, Bjorn remarks, and Holly scoffs. Oh, please. When we walk in through that door, most of the attention will be on you. Holly returns, and he scoffs somewhat. You'll see. You are going to need more than just that little bit, though. I've got more clothing on my feet than you have on your entire body. Is it distracting for you? Holly asks, leaning up to him and giving him a huge eyeful. Yes, now please, put some more clothes on, Bjorn says, and Holly smiles. You think that I'm the only one going to be dressed this way? I'm going to hope you are. Now please change. Bjorn insists, and she sighs before sauntering back into her room, making a point to shake her not inconsiderable rear end. Oh, good Lord. Oh, sweet goddess. Holly's teasing voice drifts back to him. A few minutes later, she walks back out with an open leather jacket on and a pair of leather pants so tight that he can make out the immensely powerful muscles hidden under her fur. Once again, she's somehow more naked for wearing clothing rather than less. So, you like your lady strong? This is going to be a long night, Bjorn notes as he hides his communicator. Oh, like, it's not going to be a long one for me. A piece of hot man right in front of me and jumping on him is likely to get me embedded in a wall, Holly says, leading the way out. Come on, big man, let's get some dance on.